I don't know if there's a pivotal moment. Certainly the inconvenient truth from Al Gore was something that a lot of people talked about, but all issues, sustainability, carbon, climate change, it's in the media every single day. So we can't escape it, and I think people are just building up that awareness to be able to have the tools to do something about it.
I think everything starts with the education sector. What people learn at school through to university, they continue in their adult life. So I think the education sector needs to be a leader.
There's a big move in education more to the kind of outcomes about the kind of people that we need for tomorrow's society, tomorrow's economy and tomorrow's business and so on.
Fantastic project we've had at Lancaster with students has been our carbon footprint competition, where we've got individual flats and houses wired up with their utility metering. And so we can calculate their carbon footprint. We have termly competitions for them, and they can win a big cash prize at the end of each term, and that's been a real incentive.
Everything that we do, we try to bring in some kind of fun or incentive to get people involved. I'm not sure that that's a sector-wide initiative though, but we just found that people will respond more if there's a positive take to everything that you're trying to do rather than doom and gloom. So we don't approach anything with doom and gloom.
So the impact that our graduates have, and it's not just graduates of course, because we're talking about further education colleges as well. So anybody who leaves further education and higher education institutions with the right sort of qualifications that can then have a positive impact on the communities that they interact with and the organisations that they work for, that's really where it's at for us, I think. And that's without a doubt the most important thing.
Very common criticisms of a university is that it doesn't make the most of the amazing human resources within the institution. And these advisory groups mean that we can look at people with professional and academic interests in the different strands of corporate responsibility and make sure we take on their ideas, so we really are practicing what we preach.
The main thing is culture change, to start to reorientate people and make them think in a different way.
We've got a responsibility to be researching, to be pushing the barriers of knowledge, to understand where the next, how to tackle the challenges that we're facing, and there are many.
The role that we have to play in terms of educating future students, future leaders, what we can do in terms of really making a difference for the future generations through teaching and learning and research.
Education's not enough. It's a long journey. You need champions, you need opportunities, you need to seize opportunities, take advantage of things and recognise the fact that it's going to be not how you anticipated the journey.
So I think we've touched on something. The litmus paper is lit, and sustainability is coming, and the Eauc is definitely going to be part of the solution for the sector.
We initially started by, first of all, trying to measure our carbon footprint and work out what were the principal sources of our carbon emissions.
And then to start analysing how you can start to reduce that, how you can save energy, how you can change your procurement activities to source things more locally, perhaps.
Definitely look at all the basics like procurement, look at how your staff and students get to the college.
The things, I suppose, that's helped us most is actually understanding where the carbon emissions are.
I think the main challenges have been that we haven't had a confluence of the right sorts of agendas. So what we have now is we have a lot of different laws which have come into place quite recently, and we have a general public acceptance that we really need to do something about this.
The argument for renewables isn't just about carbon footprint. The argument is quite a bit more complex than that. There's quite a lot of energy saving to be done. There's quite a lot of green demonstration that people have to do as well. So there's responsibility on people to demonstrate green technologies.
That we still focus on cost and finance, and therefore financial goals are more important at this stage. So that's probably the two things biggest challenges that we deal with.
And what will help us reduce it most in future will probably be small efficiency savings over a large number of years.
There's a lot we can do, undoubtedly. I don't think we're bad at what we do, but yeah, our mantra is, we always look at doing things better, and it starts with us as an organisation leading from the front. I talked about materials, and also in everything we do day to day.
Got to lead the way. At the end of the day, education is about the future and preparing students for the future, and it would be wrong for us not to be taking this seriously and not to be investing our time and money in it.
Today's students are going to go on to be tomorrow's leaders, and we sort of really need to have people engaging with these issues at university, so when they leave and enter the workplace, they're going to be ready to be the champions and the people leading the drive towards a more sustainable society.
The secret, I suppose, is making them actually understand what their impact is and how they can actually change that.
You've got to start thinking outside the box in order to find the solutions to the problems.
I fear sometimes that we're seen as driving a guilt complex in people, that we're banging them over the heads with don't do this, don't do that. But actually, we've got to help each other recognise the human level benefits of what we're doing.
It's bringing a combination of things together. It's no good putting in all the structures if nobody knows that they're there. So it's communication, it's getting people on board, raising their awareness, but it's no good having their enthusiasm if they haven't got the opportunity to make the changes that they want to make. So it's important to have those structures. It's important to have the energy saving structures, the recycling opportunities, all those sorts of things, that supporting, and the enthusiasm at the same time. It's bringing those two things together.
It's attitudes is the biggest thing, to be honest.
Sustainability, the environment is on the lips of everybody at the moment. It has been for some time, both personally and professionally. It's something I'm aware of. It stems from family life, and where we can, we take it into our professional lives as well.
It's important for colleges and universities because we're the leaders, we're the people who we're funded by public money, and we have to show by the way that we lead. So it's so important that we show what can be done, and we show our students, who are obviously the citizens of the country in future, what can be done in terms of sustainability.
I think, we've made a lot of changes happen by the move, obviously, in terms of the build and the powering. We've got biomass and all that sort of thing. So all that kind of structural stuff can be done through a planning and building and decision-making process. But the biggest difficulty is changing attitudes.
As a sector, HE and FE can't do corporate responsibility stroke sustainability well. They no other sector can.
The other thing, of course, is that this is what we teach. We teach it and we research it, so we know what we're doing. And what we really need to do is get that knowledge and get that out into the communities.
We have a huge building stock, enormous, lots and lots of land, but more importantly, we've got an entire population of people who are going to be in control of the next wave of decision making, and it's very important that they understand what the issues are and take that message forward and really have it embedded in their whole psyche.
The decision makers are the most important people, but certainly the estates management people need to understand how this stuff integrates into their system. So they've really got to take on board how the technologies can help them.
People to understand what it means, to look at reducing carbon emissions. It's not just about switching off lights, it's a far more integrated and larger strategy than just switching off lights.
We're the best placed sector to be able to do this stuff, and really we've just been talking about it for the last 20 years, and now it's time for us to take some action and make sure that we can prove that we've got a net positive impact and there is a point to our sector.